A stock trading at just $1.65 is quietly sitting inside one of the biggest bottlenecks in AI infrastructure right now: video bandwidth and data center load. That's the tension. Because while hyperscale data centers are spending billions upgrading GPUs and networking capacity, a small-cap company focused on making video dramatically lighter, smaller, and more efficient is valued like an afterthought. And here's the pattern interrupt. This stock has traded significantly higher in the past, yet today it sits near the lower end of its range while demand for video processing, streaming, surveillance feeds, and AI-driven visual analytics keeps accelerating. The macro narrative is expansion. The price action suggests neglect. This company builds AI-powered video optimization and compression software that reduces file sizes and bandwidth usage without degrading visual quality. Not basic compression. Not legacy encoding. It uses machine learning models to intelligently remove redundant data inside video frames while preserving perceptual fidelity. That means fewer bits transmitted, less storage required, and less strain on GPUs and network infrastructure. Its technology integrates directly into encoding pipelines used by streaming platforms, cloud providers, and enterprise video systems. When a video is processed through its system, the output file can be materially smaller while maintaining the same visual experience. That matters when data centers are moving massive volumes of 4K, 8K, HDR, and surveillance video feeds every second. Storage costs compound. Bandwidth costs compound. GPU compute costs compound. In practical terms, this software can sit between raw video capture and distribution, optimizing streams before they are stored or delivered to end users. That means real-world deployment in media streaming infrastructure, cloud storage environments, and potentially even large-scale security camera networks where constant video recording creates exponential data growth. So the real question becomes this: if AI data center expansion is one of the defining infrastructure themes of this decade, why is a company focused on reducing the load inside that system trading like a niche tool vendor? But there's a reason the market hasn't rewarded it yet. The AI boom isn't just about training large language models. It's about inference at scale, visual AI, autonomous systems, smart surveillance, content generation, and immersive media. All of those rely heavily on video. And video is one of the most data-intensive formats in existence. Every improvement in visual fidelity increases file size. Every increase in resolution multiplies bandwidth demand. Now layer on AI-driven analytics. Object detection, motion tracking, facial recognition, and generative video enhancement all require processing visual data streams. That increases compute demand even further. Data centers are responding by scaling GPU clusters and networking capacity. But optimization layers are often overlooked because they don't carry the same narrative weight as semiconductor manufacturers or cloud hyperscalers. This is where the compression layer becomes strategically interesting. Instead of building the GPUs, this company aims to reduce how hard those GPUs have to work. Instead of expanding raw storage, it attempts to shrink the data footprint itself. That positioning could make it an efficiency play inside the broader AI infrastructure cycle. The business model revolves around licensing its video optimization technology to enterprises and media platforms. Revenue can come from software licensing agreements, usage-based pricing tied to video volume, or integration partnerships within encoding ecosystems. If adopted at scale, even incremental efficiency gains could translate into recurring revenue streams tied to massive data flows. But adoption is the key variable. Compression technology is only valuable if large platforms integrate it into their pipelines. And large enterprises move slowly. Integration cycles can take time. Procurement decisions can stretch across quarters. That's one reason smaller infrastructure enablers sometimes lag in market recognition. Still, there are validation signals. The company has positioned its technology alongside industry-standard codecs and aimed to align with widely used video formats. It has demonstrated measurable bitrate reductions while maintaining perceptual quality benchmarks. For streaming providers under constant pressure to control delivery costs, that value proposition is not theoretical. If hyperscale AI expansion continues driving exponential data creation, the economics of efficiency layers could become more visible. But visibility has not yet translated into sustained stock momentum. Now we step into the reveal. The company is Beamer Imaging Ltd., trading on the Nasdaq under the ticker BMR, currently priced around $1.65 after a recent pullback of nearly 10% in a single session. At this price level, the market is valuing it as a small-cap technology vendor rather than a core AI infrastructure component. That disconnect is the entire thesis tension. Is this simply a niche compression company competing in a crowded encoding landscape? Or is it a leveraged efficiency layer positioned within the structural growth of video-centric AI systems? Part of the reason the stock remains inexpensive is scale. Revenue size, enterprise concentration risk, and competitive dynamics all matter. Larger encoding standards like HEVC and AV1 dominate the ecosystem. Beamer's differentiation must be compelling enough to justify switching costs. And in infrastructure markets, incumbency is powerful. There is also the reality that compression is not a headline sector. Investors gravitate toward chip designers, cloud platforms, and defense AI contractors. Optimization middleware rarely commands the same narrative premium. That lack of attention can suppress valuation multiples. However, if the company successfully expands enterprise integrations or secures partnerships that embed its technology into broader distribution frameworks, the leverage could be significant relative to its current size. Efficiency gains in video-heavy AI deployments may become increasingly valuable as data center power consumption and bandwidth costs remain under scrutiny. Catalysts could include new licensing agreements, technical validation benchmarks, integration announcements, or alignment with major codec standards that expand addressable markets. Even incremental traction could reframe how investors perceive its role within AI infrastructure. But risk is real. Competition in compression is intense. Standards evolve. Enterprises may prefer open-source solutions. Revenue concentration could create volatility. And micro-cap stocks inherently carry liquidity and execution risks that larger firms do not. So the decision framework returns to the opening tension. At $1.65 per share, is this a small, overlooked efficiency layer quietly positioned inside the expansion of AI-driven video infrastructure? Or is it a speculative bet on a technology that may struggle to secure dominant market share? The answer depends on adoption, integration depth, and whether data center economics increasingly reward software layers that reduce strain rather than simply expand hardware. For investors studying low-cap AI infrastructure themes, this becomes less about hype and more about structural positioning within the data pipeline itself. As always, this discussion is for educational purposes only and not financial advice. The goal is to understand how smaller infrastructure enablers fit into larger AI expansion cycles, how their business models function, and why valuation sometimes disconnects from macro themes. In markets dominated by GPU giants and cloud hyperscalers, sometimes the quieter efficiency layers tell a different story.